Good morning, afternoon, evening, or nighttime, wherever and whenever you may be watching. Thanks for clicking. Today's video is going to be a review of two fragrances, a quick review on each, Mod 3 and Rosa Poseidon from Dua Fragrances. I thought it'd be a good idea to do the two in one video, purely because A, I know a lot of people have already done reviews on these fragrances, but B, they're both from the Poseidon line, so they both got that Creed Aventus clone somewhere in the mix. Getting right into the first one, which is going to be Poseidon's Elixir Remixed Mod 3. Bit of a lengthy title. As I said, Poseidon's Elixir, Poseidon is Dua Fragrances take on Creed Aventus. They've done a lot with it. They've done direct clones, direct different batch clones. They've done hybrids, tribrids, things like that. But if it includes the word Poseidon, it's loosely based around Creed's Aventus. The Mod series, which is 1, 2, and 3, I think at the moment, I know 2 has just been released, but this is Mod 3, is a Creed Aventus clone, by and large, but it has added notes. It's their like slight remix on it. So let's give that a spray. I've also got it on skin as well, the dry down, just my take on it. So I have worn it once before. It such a fresh blast opening that you come to expect from Creed Aventus, but also the Creed Aventus clones. This one, it reminds me a little bit more of Club de Nuit Intense Man in the opening. It reminds me of that sort of lemon note going on. I think in another video I talk about Club de Nuit Intense Man, and I don't like that fragrance. I prefer this more. I do like the opening of this more than that. But it's got that lemon, it's got bergamot. I don't personally get the pineapple right in the opening. What I find is that it smells more similar to Creed Aventus after the sort of hour mark. I personally find you've got that pineapple note coming through, that juicy pineapple, and then also the blackcurrant you can pick up more, the apple as well that's listed, and then again, more onto the fragrance, the 3-4 hour mark, the birch comes through, the smokiness. The notes that have been added into this to make it the Remix Mod 3 remix is things like ambroxan crystals, isoe super, and juniper berries. Juniper berries is quite an interesting note. When I've seen it in fragrances before, they normally smell, the fragrances are normally attributed to things like a gin and tonic or that fresh, watery kind of appeal. I think it adds to it, but it doesn't remind me of a gin and tonic or anything like that. I'm not saying that's what they're going for, that's just where I've smelled that note before. Talking more about longevity, projection, things like that. This one does project out. I think that's because the ambroxan crystals, isoe super as well, as to my knowledge, pumps up the woods, makes them last a bit longer. It's definitely, it progresses into a manly scent. There's musk going on. You've still got the freshness. It's like a quiet and down pineapple. I think it is more fresh than Creed Aventus would be. I don't think it leans in that super smoky direction. For me personally, I don't know if there's enough of a difference for it to be called something like Remix Mod 3. To be honest, it just reminds me a lot of a Creed Aventus clone. And that's completely fine, that's totally fine. I enjoy the smell of Creed Aventus, I enjoy the DNA, I enjoy the clones that come with it, but it's been done before, it's not something really truly original. I like it a lot. I think it's really good. I think it's one of the better clones that I've smelled by far, but it's not different enough. I've smelled so many clones. I like what they've done, but I'm looking for something a bit different at this point when it comes to Creed Aventus. Moving swiftly on to Rosa Poseidon, which is one of their newer releases. I think Mod 3 came before this, and I'm sure I've read online that there's notes in this which are similar to Mod 3, such as the ambroxan crystals and the isoe super and whatnot. But this is a hybrid fragrance, so it's not just a direct clone. You've got Creed Aventus mixed with Roses Vanille by the house Mancera. The opening notes in this fragrance is where it differs most from that Poseidon / Creed Aventus thing. You've got lemon at the top, which is found in Mod 3, but you've also got Turkish Delight Accord and Rose at the top. And I'll be totally honest, it comes through strongly. I'm a big fan of Turkish Delight. I don't necessarily get that kind of vibe that Turkish Delight gives me. This is more of like a jammy, perfumed rose as opposed to like a candied rose, if that makes sense. I have seen a few people online say that originally people thought this was going to be marketed towards women, but then it smells more manly. I don't know if I agree with that. I think, as I said, my nose is finding the rose to be quite perfumes, so it is reminding me a little bit more of female fragrances. The Poseidon is there a little bit, that sort of pineapple-y, slightly birchy thing, but it's nowhere near as smoky as your average Aventus clone. To me, they've really pumped up the rose. You've got to be a fan of that rose note to enjoy this fragrance. If you look at the note breakdown, the mid and the base notes, they are very reminiscent of your average Creed Aventus clone. As I said, it's just really the top which has got those different notes going on, but they do carry through the fragrance. I've had it on my skin now for about 6 or 7 hours. The rose is still a little bit there, it's still musky. It's not got as much staying power as Mod 3, but it is still there. That rose is predominant in the fragrance. My feelings on Rosa Poseidon are a little bit mixed because, as I said, I'm getting a little bit fed up, a little bit bored of the just generic Creed Aventus clones, and I personally think making a hybrid, mixing 2 fragrances together is the way forward. It keeps the people who like Creed Aventus happy, but then also people like me who want something new. It spices it up a little bit. This is just a little bit, it's 2 different worlds colliding a little bit too much, in my opinion. You've got like a fresh citrus blast of Poseidon, but then also a jammy, perfumey rose note going on from that Rose's Vanille clone. Guys, if you've got either, let me know. I think they are both good releases. I think Duo has really cracked that Aventus vibe thing. And I'm a fan of when they do this, when they do hybrids, tribrids, when they, mess about with it a little bit. If you've got either, let me know what your thoughts are on them. See you in the next video. Peace.